Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the Splendour Hub, daily vocabulary with modern English words. Conscious. Conscious is an adjective meaning bakhabar, waqif, aware of and responding to one's surroundings. Example of conscious is although I was in pain, I was conscious. Synonyms of conscious aware, awake, wide awake, compose, mentis. Antonyms of conscious is unconscious, unaware. Perpetuate. Perpetuate is a verb meaning jari rakhna, कायम रहना, make something continue indefinitely. Example of perpetuate is the confusion was perpetuated through inadvertence. Synonyms of perpetuate keep alive, keep going, keep in existence, preserve. Antonyms of perpetuate is discontinue, give up, hard, let go. Dominance. Dominance is a noun meaning fawqiyat, ghalba, bala, power and influence over others. Example, the worldwide dominance of Hollywood. Synonyms of dominance supremacy, superiority, ascendancy, preeminence. Antonyms of dominance is subservience, subjugation. Permissible. Permissible is an adjective meaning jais, kabil, manzoor, permitted, allowed. Example of permissible is it is permissible to add it and rephrase the statement. Synonyms of permissible is permitted, allowable, allowed, acceptable. Antonyms of permissible is forbidden, unacceptable. Aphorism. Aphorism is a noun meaning kahavat makula, a pithy observations which contain a general truth. Example, the old aphorism, the child is father to the man. Synonyms of aphorism is saying, maxim, axiom, adage, precept. Antonyms of aphorism is elaboration, exposition, verbose, statement. Dare. Dare is a verb meaning जुर्रत करना, हिम्मत करना. Have the courage to do something. Example of dare is a story he dare not write down. Synonyms of dare is be brave enough, have the courage, pluck up courage. Antonyms of dare hesitate, shy away, cover. Restrain. Restrain is a verb meaning दबाना, रोकना, रुकावट डालना. Prevent someone or something from doing something. Keep under control or within limits. Example of restrain is the need to restrain public expenditure. Synonyms of restrain is prevent, stop, keep, hold back, hinder. Antonyms of restrain is force, compel, encourage. Compel is a verb meaning मजबूर करना, लाचार करना, force or oblige someone to do something. Example of compel is a sense of duty compelled Harry to answer her questions. Synonyms of compel is force, coerce into, pressurize into, pressure. Antonyms of compel is dissuade, discourage, halt. Consolation. Consolation is a noun meaning tasalli, wajah taskeen, the comfort received by a person after a loss or disappointment. Example of consolation is there was consolation in knowing that others were worse off. Synonyms of consolation is comfort, solace, sympathy, compassion. Antonyms of consolation is disdain, indifference, mercilessness. Rejoice is a verb. Rejoice meaning shadmani, bagh bagh hona. Feel or show great joy or delight. Example of rejoice is we spent the evening rejoicing at our victory. Synonyms of rejoice is happiness, pleasure, joy, gladness, delight. Antonyms of rejoice is mourning. Virulent. Virulent is an adjective meaning zehrila, of a disease or poison, extremely severe or harmful in its effects. Example of virulent is a virulent strain of influenza. Synonyms of virulent is poisonous, toxic, venomous, noxious, deadly. Antonyms of virulent is non toxic, harmless, safe. Clinch. Clinch is a verb meaning मजबूती पकड़ना. Confirm or settle a contract or bargain. Example of clinch is the Texan wanted to impress him to clinch a business deal. Synonyms of clinch: secure, settle, conclude, close. Antonyms of clinch is loss. Sane. Sane is an adjective meaning समझदार, dana, of a person of sound mind, not mad or mentally ill. Example of sane is hard work kept me sane. Synonyms of sane is of sound mind, right in the head, in one's right mind. Antonyms of sane is insane, mad. Frenzied. Frenzied is an adjective meaning divanapan, habte, wildly excited or uncontrolled. Example of frenzied is a frenzied attack. Synonyms of frenzied: frantic, wild, frantic, hectic. Antonym of frenzied is calm. Musing. Musing is a noun meaning महव ख्यालात में गुम, a period of reflection or thought. Example: his musings were interrupted by the sound of the telephone. Synonyms of musing is meditation, thinking, contemplation, deliberation. Antonyms of musing is dissimilitude, unlikeness. Peacenik. Peacenik is a noun meaning aman a member of a pacifist movement. Example of peacenik is an exchange of issues from the peaceniks to the environmentalists. Synonyms of peacenik is pacifist, doof, anti-war activist, peace advocate. Antonyms. Antonyms of peacenik is warmonger, aggressor, hawk. Balk. Balk is a verb meaning मानने से इनकार करना, रोकना. Hesitate or be unwilling to accept an idea or undertaking. Example of balk is he balked at such a drastic solution. Synonyms of balk: eschew, resist, refuse to, be unwilling to. Antonyms of balk is accept. Animosity. Animosity is a noun meaning dushmani, bughz, unad, strong hostility. Example of animosity is he no longer felt any animosity towards her. Synonyms of animosity is antipathy, hostility, friction, antagonism. Antonyms. Antonyms of animosity is goodwill, friendship. Tortuous. Tortuous is an adjective meaning teda, pechida, full of twists and turns. Example of tortuous is the route is remote and tortuous. Synonyms of tortuous: twisting, winding, curving, curvy, bending, sinuous, undulating, coiling, looping. Antonyms. Antonyms of tortuous is straight. Cunning. Cunning is an adjective meaning chalaki makari, having or showing skill in achieving one's ends by deceit or evasion. Example of cunning is a cunning look came into his eyes. Synonyms of cunning is crafty, wily, artful, guileful, devious, sly, knowing, scheming, designing, tricky. Antonyms of cunning is honest, guileless, knave. Bigotry. Bigotry is a noun meaning hartdharmi, tasub, destinate or unreasonable attachment to a belief, opinion, or faction, in particular prejudice against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular group. Example of bigotry is the difficulties of combating prejudice and bigotry. Synonyms: prejudice, bias, partiality, partisanship. Antonyms of bigotry is tolerance. Contemptuous. Contemptuous is an adjective meaning zillat amez, hakarat amez, showing contempt, scornful. Example of contemptuous is she was intolerant and contemptuous of the majority of the human race. Synonyms of contemptuous is scornful, disdainful, disrespectful, insulting. Antonyms of contemptuous is respectful. Inequitable is an adjective meaning गैर मुनसिफाना लामसावी unfair unjust. Example of inequitable is the present taxes are inequitable. Synonyms of inequitable is unfair, unjust, discriminatory, preferential. Antonyms of inequitable is fair, impartial. Discontent. Discontent is a noun meaning adam itminan, becheni, dissatisfaction with one's circumstances, lack of contentment. Example: voters voiced discontent with both parties. Synonyms of discontent: dissatisfaction, disaffection, discontentment, discontentedness. Antonyms of discontent is contentment, satisfaction. Assent. Assent is a noun meaning रजामंदी कबूल करना मंजूरी the expression of approval or agreement. Example of assent is a loud murmur of assent. Synonyms of assent is agreement, acceptance, approval, approbation, consent, acquiescence. Antonyms of assent is dissent, refusal. Leer. Leer is a verb meaning फसलाना, झांसा देना, वर्गलाना, tempt a person or animal to do something or to go somewhere, especially by offering some form of reward. Example of lure is the child was lured into a car but managed to escape. Synonyms of lure: tempt, entice, attract, induce, coax, persuade, inveigle, allure, seduce, win over. Antonyms of lure is deter, put off. Cohort. Cohort is a noun meaning गिरोह, हम उम्र लोगों का ग्रुप, दस्ता. A group of people with a shared characteristic. Example: a cohort of civil servants patiently drafting legislation. Synonyms of cohort: group, grouping, category, categorization, grade, grading, classification, class. Antonyms of cohort is enemy, foe, opponent. Preclude. Preclude is a verb meaning रोकना, खारिज कर देना, बाज रखना, prevent from happening, make impossible. Example of preclude is the secret nature of his work precluded official recognition. Synonyms of preclude is prevent, make it impossible for, make it impracticable for, rule out, put a stop to, stop, prohibit. Antonyms of preclude is added, advance, aid, allow, assist. Entrench. Entrench is a verb meaning हिफाजत के लिए मोर्चा बंद होना. Establish an attitude, habit, or belief so firmly that change is very difficult or unlikely. Example: ageism is entrenched in our society. Synonyms of entrench is establish, settle, ensconce, lodge, set, root, install, plant, embedded, anchor. Antonyms of entrench is dislodge. Thank you for watching. If you saw any mistake, kindly let me know in the comment box. And subscribe my channel for more videos.